Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. If you're listening to us, you'd rather watch us, go to our YouTube channel, The Stephen Knight Show. And you can also check us on our website, thestephennightshow.com, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of them. We have two guest co-hosts I'm very excited about. I've known them both a very long time. The longest I've known, Chantrice Morgan. I've known her since second grade, but she joins us tonight. She is Chantrice, I'll let you introduce yourself.
I am Stephen's friend. That's all you need to know. I'm just kidding. I'm a management consultant. I've been in consulting for coming up on 20 years. I think 17 and a half years. I don't know. Check me on that math, but super happy to be here. Super excited to talk about some of the topics that are hot in the world, and looking forward to really hearing from everyone.
Yes. And one of my best friends, Derek Venable. How you want to introduce yourself, Derek? He's been on the show before, but just to refresh our viewers.
I've been on the show before. Good to be back to discuss these wonderful topics that we're about to discuss today. Originally from Virginia, the same as Stephen. Learning and development consultant as profession, and I'm just happy to be here and let's talk.
All right. And Chike, we all know Chike. Chike, how was your weekend? You had a good one?
How was my weekend? Are you kidding me? We have a new presidente. Are you kidding me?
Yes.
I had an awesome weekend, man.
Right.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I actually went to a couple events. I shouldn't say events. I should say gatherings.
Right.
And tossed a couple back, in celebration. It was a wonderful weekend. I have hope.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Nayyir, listen, countdown to wedding day. Countdown to wedding day. How are you feeling? How was your weekend?
It was good. I think I echo Chike's sentiments. I'm still. I feel like the rug could get snatched from under us at any moment, but I'm kind of excited. I'm happy as well. But great weekend. Slow and steady for me.
Awesome. Well, listen, before we get into the show, I want to. Wednesday will be Veterans Day, so shout out to all our veterans, everyone who has given their life, and defended our country. Definitely shouting you out early this week. So our question of the day is this: what animal do you think is your spirit animal? I'll ask you first, Chike. I couldn't think of what mine was, but what's the craziest animal out there? I think that would be me.
Oh man, so a couple of my friends jokingly call me Wolverine, so I'm gonna roll with that one because there's another side to me that gets a little berserker mode.
Really? I wouldn't get that from you. Okay. What about you, Chantrice?
Yeah.
I would say I'm a panther.
I get that.
I'm a Black woman, so you might not see me, but I see you.
Right.
That's
it. Yeah. Okay. Derek?
I think I'm true to my zodiac. I think mine would be a lion because I'm very reserved, but I'm very territorial. So when things go down, I'm ready.
Go Leo.
Right. Chantrice and Derek are both Leos. What about you, Nayyir?
I'd like to think an eagle, but I think I'm more octopus. I like octopus are very intelligent. They're adaptable. Their skin can kind of blend and change colors. They're very adaptable and they're very intelligent creatures and innovative creatures. So I'm probably closer to an octopus than I would like to be an eagle.
I can see that. Well, I don't know what mine is. I tried. I guessed. I can't figure it out. So, but tweet us at home, Stephen Knight Show SHO, and let us know what animal do you think is your spirit animal.
We can give you one.
That's what I was thinking.
What'd you say?
We can give you one. We can put one on you.
All right. I told you the crazy animal out there. I'll be me. All right. So, quick coronavirus update. We've surpassed 50 million cases worldwide with 1.26 million deaths. We sadly surpassed 10 million here in the United States with 238,000 deaths domestically. Now, recently, Ben Carson tested positive for COVID-19. He was at an election party on Tuesday at the White House with no mask on. Also, Mark Meadows, who is Trump's chief of staff, he tested positive as well. And I think 3 or 4 other people in the White House have tested, which would be like the second or third outbreak. Now, healthcare and pharmaceutical company Pfizer has just announced that the vaccine is over 90% effective, one they've been working on. And then President-elect Biden has put together a 12-member COVID-19 task force that is effective today. And he said that's his number one goal is coming to, getting this thing under control as the numbers are starting to go back up. So let me ask you all, my question is, how are you feeling? I know, Nayyir, you shared with us that your sister has tested positive. She's at home recovering. How are you feeling now that it's hit home in terms of where we are with COVID-19?
You remember I was always kind of on the fence about the closeness of this thing. And even though I did lose a friend, but having it hit, my family directly, it's there. I'm a believer for sure. And I wasn't skeptical to the point where I was going to put myself in danger or someone else. But it was kind of, it's a strange thing. So it was kind of hard for me to continue to wrap my head around until my sister gets it and then she gets that and, the pneumonia with it. And yeah, it's real. It's there. I'm seeing it. So I'm happy that we've got hopefully someone who's going to be responsible and help us to navigate through going forward.
Yeah, most definitely. And Chantrice, I know you're right outside DC, where the numbers seem to be going up, especially as the White House continues to have these big events. How are you dealing with it all?
Well, first of all, Nayyir, I'm super sorry to hear about your sister. My first cousin also just found out he has it as well. He's an essential worker. He works in the medical field. And he's luckily gone 8 months without being impacted, but now he is. It's interesting because almost 20% of the entire world's death from COVID has come from the United States. Mm-hmm. And we're supposed to be the greatest place on earth, right?
Yeah.
It is a circus here, I can tell you that. But what's interesting when you go back to the comment about Ben Carson, at the White House, Ben Carson, he's a scientist by trade. Right. As many people know, he's a former neurosurgeon, mm-hmm. and he was looked at as a pioneer even in his field. And so it's interesting, and it's, the hypocrisy behind a neurosurgeon not using their brain to go to an event and not using their head to do some basic things that they know better than to do. It's just interesting, and it's a shame.
No, I agree. And Chike, you work in the medical field. Over the weekend, of course, a lot of people were celebrating the fact that we have a new president-elect, and most people had on masks, but obviously weren't social distancing. Was that alarming to you when you saw that?
You know what, it was. However, I understood it. People have been waiting for a moment like this for so long, mm-hmm. that they probably let their guard down, but they did wear their masks. And mm-hmm. To piggyback on Mr. Ben Carson, him being probably the second African-American gentleman that was close to the Trump organization or camp, you would think that he would have learned something from Herman Cain, which leads me to believe that when people get around this organization and these people, they get stupid. You lose all sensibility and all intelligence, and you just go with the flow of the masses. Mm-hmm. And it's pathetic. It really is pathetic. I wish him well. I hope that he will be all right, but stupid is as stupid does.
Very true. But the good thing I will say is that the number of people dying has decreased, which is a good thing from people that are being exposed to the coronavirus. And now with this upcoming vaccine that they say is 90%, effective. Derek, what are your thoughts on all of this as it relates to coronavirus and relief coming, hopefully?
And that was one of the points I wanted to talk about is like Joe Biden is the president-elect. He's not even the sitting president in office yet, and he's already put together a task force.
Right.
So I feel that relief is coming because it's being taken seriously now by somebody that's going to be leading our country. And they're going to listen to science, and they're going to listen to, like Chantrese said, Ben Carson is a neurosurgeon. So like he's the top tier of doctors, but you're not using your head because you want status, you want to be around the administration. And it makes no sense because this is, like you said, United States, we're supposed to be the big brother to every country out there. And we don't look good at all right now. So I'm excited, not excited, but I'm happy that Joe Biden and his administration has already put together a task force to try to tackle this thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, let's get into this election. Joe Biden, again, as we say, he is now our president-elect. Kamala Harris made history as becoming the first woman and woman of color to be elected as the vice president. Now, Biden, he won 290, electoral votes, and Trump 214. Now, Trump has refused to concede to Biden, which is holding up the funds that the Biden administration needs for the transitional team. They can't hire new people. They can't get people in place to start governing, which was less than, almost 2 months. Now, people nationwide took to the streets, as we said, celebrated the new elected president. Not only just took to the seats nationwide, they took the seats in Paris and abroad. 75 million people voted for Biden, but I was confused and kind of surprised that 71 million people voted for Trump, which still shows how divided our country is. Now, Biden, he took to Twitter over the weekend. He said, "America, I'm honored that you chose me to lead our great country. The work ahead of us will be hard, but I promise you this, I will be the president for all of America, whether you voted for me or not. I will keep the faith that you have placed in me." Now, Joe and Kamala must now wait again for the chief election official to certify the election results in their states, and the process should conclude in mid-December. Now we finally have our president, President-elect Joe Biden, selected to represent the United States of America, and with that comes a greater discussion. Who was responsible for tipping the scale in his favor? And while early exit polls suggest that Blacks are the reason that Biden was sworn into office, Eva Longoria, she's under pressure because she was saying that the Latina impact is what really won the election. But we all know in record numbers that over 90% of African-American women voted for Biden, and 80% of Black men voted for Biden as well. So what is your overall reaction? Just, because I think for 4 years we all lived just not really knowing how to take everything that was going on. But now, do you feel that we're in a new place? Do you feel relief? Do you feel that we're going to get back to where we thought this country was going when we had our first Black president? Chike?
So, truthfully, I actually feel like Nayyir does. I do feel a slight hesitation because of the rug that could possibly be pulled out from underneath of us. But at the same time, we've been dealing with nonsense for 4 years. And this year in particular, it got a lot heavier. So to get this glimmer of hope and this little piece of good news does make me feel hopeful in a big way. So I'm going to hold on to that because it's the little bit that I've had for quite some time. So yeah, I'm going to hold this out. I'm going to have hope, and I'm going to stay in prayer that everything's going to be all right. That's going to be our new president. Period. Absolutely. With a T.
And Chantrese, when you saw that 71 million people voted for Trump, were you shocked by that? And to show that our country, how divided it still is, what are your thoughts on all that? Do you think there's hope for us once Biden actually gets in office and we start moving forward?
Unfortunately, I was not surprised. I am cautiously optimistic. Hope's probably not the right word for me. But I do believe that, Trump normalized the fact that people of color were being marginalized, being murdered. So it wasn't really him that did it. He just made it okay. He made people feel like it was part of everyday life, and that's the way we operate.
Yeah.
And while some people already felt that way, I think people now or during that time definitely had sort of an excuse to make this is the way it is, and this is the way it's going to be. And those Proud Boys are probably still standing by, about to do something crazy. Hopefully not, but you have to keep your head on a swivel nowadays, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And Nayyir, you know, Trump said you're gonna have to pull him out of the White House. Even his wife is reportedly is asking him to please concede. It's over. But a lot of the Republican Party is sticking behind him and saying that he has the right to contest the vote, which he does legally, and that the media has called the election. However, in 2016, when the media called the election, he thanked them for calling the election. So what are your thoughts on all this?
Well, like I said earlier, because I'm, you know, I've been here all my life in America. All of us have. And I've seen the rug get snatched from up under us so many times in so many different ways. So I have this, I'm trying to be very cautiously optimistic and so forth, but I'm not putting anything past this guy or his administration at being nasty and ugly and disenfranchising something that is even correct, something that is right the way it is. But I am holding on to my faith, and I'm looking forward to Obama for 4 more years. You know, so Obama will be the first president to do 3 terms. You know, that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to Biden getting in there and getting settled and getting to work without this show that's going on now. I'm hoping everything just kind of works itself out, and that these lawsuits are easily swept away that he's got pending or whatever he's got going on. There is no evidence, I believe. There's no real evidence. So I'm just hoping things kind of settle out and eventually this guy comes to his senses. And just, why would you want to be somewhere? You got your voters, go be with them. Why would you want to be somewhere no one wants you? No, everyone's celebrating you leaving. So why would you want to still be there? You know?
They were literally, his motorcade was going back to the White House because he was on the golf course once he found out that he didn't win. He was going back to the White House. They're literally flicking him off.
Yes.
His motorcade as he was going back to the White House. They don't want you. Real quick, I forgot to ask you, Chantrice, as an African American woman, a Black woman in this country, what does it mean? I don't think for me it even registered the significance of our first African American and Asian descent woman being nominated as VP. What does it mean for you as a Black woman in this country?
I think it's fantastic. I think, you know, as I mentioned before, the spirit animal being a panther, which is likened to that of the leopard or the jaguar, and oftentimes they can see where their prey is. They can see what's happening, but a lot of times they're camouflaged and they're not often seen. I think it's important to have that type of representation, especially in a role such as this, hopefully. And I know I said I don't like necessarily the term hope right now, but I'm cautiously optimistic that having someone in this particular role will translate to something that might be more representative of that of roles in corporate America and different organizations like that. So, and you know, when we talk about Eva Longoria, I think you mentioned she got a little bit of backlash. Is that right?
Yeah.
So here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say about this. I will say women have been conditioned to pit ourselves against one another. People of color have also been conditioned to do that. I also know that women of color in general don't get the credit that they deserve. I do think the Latinx community came out and showed out.
They did.
Very similar to that of the Black community, the Indian community, the Caribbean community, who are oftentimes grouped in the Black category for those who have a certain skin tone, right?
Yeah.
But I will say that I don't fault Ava for saying that. She's excited and she's proud, just as we're excited and we're proud. And I think we can be excited and proud together. I also think that, I would just say good job. Good job to my Indian, Caribbean, specifically, Jamaican brothers and sisters, and to my white, Caucasian, European, whoever came out to exercise and stand for what we say that America's about. I applaud them. I applaud them in this particular space.
Yeah, absolutely. And, they had to break down because there was this big rumor that the Latin community in Florida overwhelmingly voted for Trump, but they had to show you the difference in the Latin community. They have Cubans, they have different Latin, people that voted, but it was completely different in Arizona. It was completely different in Arizona who voted for Biden. So I think that, again, you said she was excited that her community came out and voted in large numbers, which they did. So I definitely get that. I don't think it should.
Sorry to interrupt. And they should. I mean, you have to think about the fact that they like us, when I say us, Black folks, have been marginalized as well. When you think about those concentration camps, because that's what they are on the border of Mexico, and how they felt oftentimes like, yes, we were being killed, not but and we are also being killed. We are also being detained. We are also being, tortured.
Separated from our kids.
Yes. So, I'm not saying that one struggle is greater than another. What I am saying is that we are all here for the same reason. So let's go ahead and keep being here for the same reason. That's all.
Absolutely. No, I get that.
I don't want to get too deep on this, but also, it's kind of unfortunate that this moment is being overshadowed. This historical moment is being overshadowed by this man's mess. You have to really think, like you said, it didn't really sink in yet that we've got a Black VP, the first ever, Black and Asian VP.
A female, but
female, and it's kind of being overshadowed by the mess of this big child, so.
Yeah.
But she'll get her moment. She'll have it.
Absolutely. Derek, did you see the speeches that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris gave on Saturday, and what were your reactions to them?
My first reaction when Vice President-elect Harris came out, it was just, sometimes you don't realize how much the events in the world are taking a toll on you mentally and physically.
Yeah.
And when she came out to speak, it was like a weight was lifted. And just like we said, the wool could be pulled from our eyes in the next couple of weeks, but in this moment right now, and in that moment, it was like, okay, this is the America that we're used to, even though it wasn't perfect 4 or 5 years ago, but this is what the America that we're used to, unity, because their speeches were definitely about unity. They were about uplifting. Were not about dividing the people.
Right.
Even Joe Biden said, even you didn't vote for me, but I'm still your president. So that says a lot in just one night after 4 years of divisiveness. So
he said there are no red or blue states. There's United States, and I want to work with all of us to bring us together.
But did you peep Joe Biden running up the rampway though?
I was watching Wendy Williams this morning. She said, I loved how he ran out, and then because he ran and then he stopped for a minute. He said, there he goes again. There he goes again. But no, I think he's trying to show that, because everybody thinks he's gonna die in 4 years. I don't know why they think that, but I like. Listen, he's in better shape than Trump. I mean, he's in better shape than Trump. He rides his bike. He works out. You know what I mean? This ageism has to go. But I watched the speeches, and I just had that sense. I know, Chandra, you say you like the word hope, but I had that sense of there's someone who's trying to give us hope. There's someone who's trying to bring us together. There's someone who's trying to just unite our world again. You know what I mean? And so hopefully that'll happen. I will say this real quick. If you go on our Instagram, there's a video I posted. Someone was taking the Trump flag down from their garage, and they were playing this song. They play at funerals.
Taps. They were playing taps.
I love it. But no, you know, a lot of people are mourning this moment. But listen, I think that in 2020, it's about being inclusive. It's about us working together to make this country just good for everybody. You know what I mean? Not just one group of people. And so, anyway. Well, listen, we'll take a quick. Go ahead. Yes, I'm saying.
No, I was gonna say, I apologize. I was gonna say, you know, and I know I sound like I might be coming across cynical, but again, I am just cautiously optimistic.
We live in this country. Yeah.
Well, simply because I've seen it. Having been in corporate America, I've seen where they want to check the box. And so they put me in a position, or they give me a role, and then they tell everybody about it. And they have no intention of doing anything else to help support my career. I've seen it. I've lived it. I'm not saying anything about me being a president. That's not at all where I'm going with this. But what I am saying is that, you know, I think that people do find hope and find solace in seeing something like this happen, and seeing that there are folks who can come together, but we're still like 50-50. We're 50-50 across the nation when we talk about popular vote. And that's crazy to me.
You know, I had to say, when I woke up Wednesday morning, the day after election, there was something, I couldn't believe that so many people voted for Trump after what we had seen with the racism and with the just everything he has represented for our country, and what he continues to represent now, even after the results have come in. I felt horrible. I mean, I don't know. I had to watch a movie just to take my mind off of the fact that I felt so upset that many people still voted for him. But I don't know.
I believe that if COVID weren't a thing,
a lot of people said it
probably would be reelected.
Reelected. Yeah.
Yes, I believe that. But there's just too many people who've died. And there's just clearly nothing that he did. And there's clearly proof that he knew about it and decided that it wasn't that important.
Yeah. There was a white gentleman, he made a video, Viola Davis retweeted it, and I shared it on my Instagram, that he said that he thinks that so is the reason why he wasn't reelected, because of COVID-19. But yeah. Well, let's take a quick break.
It was a perfect storm, though. It was a perfect storm of George Floyd and the deaths. And, you know, I hate to put it this way, but God makes no mistakes, and things happen for a reason. And I think that everything fell in line the way that it did for a purpose.
I agree. I totally agree with that. I think that if 2020 did not happen, he would still be our president going in 2021. But look, let's take a quick break. We'll come back with some more hot topics right back after this.